So let me ask you, what does work-life balance mean to you? Have you ever thought about that? We say it a lot, but do we live it? You know, what are your values around that? Around what you do at work and at home? What about your family's values about how you are at home and how you are at work? So it's something to think about, and we're going to talk a little bit about that today. So some people think it's a little overrated that we have this wonderful work-life balance. I look at it as more of a tug-of-war. One way, then a little bit the other way. And of course we want to try and stay in the middle as one. We really don't want one or the other to win. But it is a constant tug-of-war. And it can get a little messy at times. And the biggest thing is to remember that it is a constant battle. It's a constant battle for all of us, and for some of us, even more. So today we're going to talk about when you started your business. I want you to think about that. Weren't you really excited about what you were going to do? A new business, doing what you love, doing your passion. We all start out that way. And then we also think, God, this is going to be so easy. I don't have to listen to anybody else. And I'm going to make all this money. Anybody been there? Right. But it maybe not so. Then all of the, what do I need to do? All the hats I have to wear, all the different directions, everybody pulling me in different directions, trying to be a salesperson, trying to be an HR person, marketing person, and the janitor at times, right? So we're wearing a lot of hats going in a lot of different directions, and that causes a lot of stress. So we might be wearing too many hats, just too much to do, endless responsibilities and demands, and it really does cause stress. We get overwhelmed at times. Has there anybody not ever been overwhelmed with running a business? And there's just not enough time in it all, right? So then what happens is we are stressed about what's going on at work, and then maybe our families get left behind. Maybe we don't have the time that we want with them or to spend with them. Maybe we don't have the just personal life. It might not even be a family. But how are you reacting when you leave your business? Are you taking care of the people and sharing your life with them? Or are you just living life? So I want to talk about your mindset around work-life balance. And I think our mind is very, very powerful. And it's a lot like an iceberg. And it, because of what's on the surface of an iceberg is only 10%. 90% is under the water. 10% of our mind is conscious. Those are our choices. Our choices come here today. Our choices to what we're going to wear, what we're going to do, what's the next big marketing thing we're going to do in our business. Those are conscious choices. And then 90% is subconscious. Those are the no choices, limiting beliefs maybe. They drive our behavior. They can propel us forward, but they can hold us back at the same time. So becoming more aware of what those limiting beliefs or just the beliefs that are subconscious can really make us. We might want something so terribly bad, but for some reason we can't get there. And it could possibly just because of the subconscious thought or belief that we have. So I want to talk about a fixed or a growth mindset. And we can have both, but it's best to have the growth at all times. And we can switch from a fixed to a growth. So it's easier done than, it might be easier said than done, but it can happen. So a fixed mindset is going to basically really give us limitations. We see limitations out there. We're going to do something new, but the first thing that comes up is, oh, I'm not so sure I can do that. You know, those limitations. Might be negativity. And I'm not saying that you're negative all the time, but sometimes when we're got a challenge in front of us, we might go to the negative side of things. I can't do that, I'm not smart enough, whatever those might be for us. And sometimes we don't see the possibilities that are right in front of us because we have that fixed, limited mindset. And then we look at new things as challenging. So if I were to decide I want to take a foreign language, which I did at 4th grade, I can't remember anything but the first 3 numbers of the alphabet, the numbers. But the whole thing is, if I could walk in there and I could say, wow, this is going to be challenging. This is going to be hard. All these young kids, they're just going to whiz through this and I'm just going to struggle. I just know it. And that's one way. And that would be a fixed mindset. But when we have a growth mindset, it's really about looking at the bright future, not knowing what it is, but that it can be better or it can be what we want it to be. And positivity, and you hear the negative, I got to be all positive, but really it does make a difference, especially when you're under stress and you don't let that negativity fall in. And then we see things as possibilities and opportunities. And then we accept challenges. And we hope, we can see in the future and make a big difference. So I can walk into that same room, taking that same class, same foreign language, and I could say, wow, I'm going to learn something new. I'm going to try. And that's just as simple as that. So really just to stop and think about when you are maybe going to that negative side, can you switch your mindset? And there is always something positive in everything negative. There is always. I've had things happen to me, and when I look back at it, it was just intervention from above, but, it was really, devastating at the time, but I'm blessed now that it all happened. So, there's always possibilities and positivity in every negativity. So we can look at it, running a business, as it's hard work, right? It's going to be a tough day. I know. I just have so much to do. And I'm just not making enough money. Is this really worth all this? Just too much to do? I don't know what I'm really doing. I'm just going to go do it. Maybe I haven't hired the right person, but I'm going to struggle out and do my own accounting. Even though not quite sure what I'm doing, I'm not smart enough. Oh, that's the worst client. Luckily, I can say my clients currently are all the best clients. They really are, and I've truly worked at that. But, it's really easy to have something negative happen to a client, and then we want to go down that negative road with them. And then, my family just doesn't understand. I have to really work really, really hard. I'm running a business. So those are all fixed mindsets. So when you catch yourself going down that, stop and think of how you can change it to a growth mindset. So are beliefs running your life? They are. So which kind of beliefs do you want to have? So yes, Cathy Sexton, I'm a reforming workaholic. So I ask you, are you married to your work? Yes, I paid a very, very high price for it. But that's why I'm passionate about what I do now. But the whole thing is you have to consider the cost. It's really not worth it. So you really have to find and make sure that you're not leaning too far on the work side. Life is too short for all of us. And it's really important that we do what we love and that we get the best out of, but then we also have time to reap the benefits. So one of the hardest things, I think, especially as a small business owner, is that we don't take time to relax. And even in that busy, busy day that's you're spinning and I have all these things to do, that's the time to stop and take a break and realize that you're going to have more energy if you revive yourself. But we can't live on our energy drain is going to be constant. So you have to revive yourself. So it really is very important. So understanding your values is key also. So if you did your little exercise at break where you looked at your values, how many of you had family as one of your values? Yeah, quite a few. And that's definitely one of mine. So it really is important that if family is one of your true values, that this is probably really important to you. So when we know what those values are, we can live and we can make decisions a whole lot better. So living your values is really important. And I guess I've realized that so much in the last 5 years. Not for you to feel sorry for me at all, but I've lost both parents, a brother, 2 best friends, and a husband who had open heart surgery, and then a daughter who went through a major traumatic thing. But what I came out of that is my family is the most important. So whatever your values are, you need to live by them. And it's much easier for us to make decisions. So when you are struck with a decision you have to make, also minor, and you don't know which to, kind of wavering, just look at your values. Which one represents your values? It makes decision making easy. Because then you can take action. But we get so stuck in making the decision, not sure where to go, not sure which direction. So by just having those values in front of you, knowing what those values are, it can make decision making very, very easy. And I would really recommend that you and your team at your office also have values for the company. And that's the best way that everybody can work along the same path. So family, work life, play life, our personal life sometimes gets neglected. So don't be so busy making a living that you forget to make a life. And I think that's just so important. So balance, is it really impossible? Work-life balance? I don't think it is impossible, but I think it's something we have to work at every single day. I know I do. But we have the control. It really is in our control, and we can convince ourselves of others. Oh, I've got all these clients, I have all this work. We can convince ourselves of anything we want, but we really truly have the control over only these 4 things. We have control over our time, what we do with it, how we use it. We have control over our energy, how we make it, how we use it. We have control over our money, how we make it, and how we use it. And the last is our minds, our mindset, and what actions and choices we take. But those are the only things we truly have control over. We don't have control over others. We only have control over ourselves. So, balance is a key to life. So, what questions do you have for me or comments?